Hari Om and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. This is Yamuna Devi. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner in Miami, and I would love to share with you how I help support someone who's been having chronic pain in their body, and that has created difficulty in sleep, lacking of motivation, so many things, but we will discuss this in their case. For the purpose of this video, I am protecting the client's information, and I will not be disclosing exactly the information about that person, but I will be changing the details so that you can understand. I am also keeping the same format of what we did, the protocol we did, but I will not express the details of this person just for their protection. And for our learning purposes, I would love to share with you this case study. This person came in specifically looking to help their joint pains. The pain is so unbearable that they had difficulty sleeping. There was a lot of frustration about this pain. And recently, a loved one has passed away. It's been quite difficult for them to overcome. The joint pain usually comes at night. The bowel movements are a bit difficult. They take Miralax to be able to go to the bathroom. Appetite usually skips breakfast. There is acid reflux happening. So in Ayurveda, we talk a lot about digestion. Digestion is a very important focus on the whole body because that's where your nutrients are being formed. Like in your body, if you don't digest properly, then how are we absorbing, assimilating the nutrients, right? So the same digestion, also evacuation is very key. So there was this already, I could tell by what she was telling me that there's an issue with metabolism, with being able to digest the foods. If she's having acid reflux, definitely it's not going down, right? So also the improper bowel movements is creating this acid reflux because the digestive system, if you think about it, there's inner pathway and out, right? It's like a kind of like a tube, if you think about it, vertical tube going in and out. But if it's not going out, guess what's going to happen? It's going to come up. So we were looking at that and we're going to see how we can support this person. So, and also as a note, I want to make sure that everyone knows that Ayurveda is not a substitute for medical care. So it is a complement. It's a holistic way of thinking, a holistic way of living, but it is not a substitute for your doctor's suggestions. So her sleep was very difficult. She was taking something natural to sleep to help her, but either way, the pain would wake her up at night, and that was difficult for her. She would stay awake because of the pain, so she would wake up tired because the pain was keeping her awake. So now we're understanding that there's this underlying pain. But the thing is, we can't just focus on the pain. In Ayurveda, we don't focus only on the pain. We want to go deeper to the roots. What's happening within? What's happening within that this is creating the pain? It could be mental, it could be emotional, could it be stress? So we have to ask more questions, to observe, to listen to what's happening to the body. The body speaks, but we just have to listen and continue. Checking her pulse. Her pulse was very diminished. And digestion was really slow. There was an underlying anxiety. And this person appears to be eating distracted. We can check in the tongue. And the tongue tells us what is happening within the body. The tongue is a mapway of the internal organ systems. So we can see what is happening. How is her mood? Is she distracted? Is there anger? Is there irritability? There was a deep groove in the middle of the line that's suggesting that there is suppressed emotions. And on the side of the tongue, we can see that she was eating distracted. And she did confirm that she eats reading the newspaper. So we can see. And there is underlying deep emotional groove. So that is where the pain could be coming from, right? So if we work on her slowly, then slowly this groove will be cleared and her tongue will be better. She will start feeling better. So let me just continue because I want to share with you what happened. So as per Ayurveda, we talked about diet. We talked about, the medicines that she was taking. She was taking medication for hypertensiveness, for high blood pressure. And she wanted to lose weight. That was also something. But mostly her main concern was the pain, that she can't sleep at night, joint pains. Talking about diet, I noticed that she was eating cornflake and cereal at night, salads at night, yogurt and nightshades. So in Ayurveda, cornflakes, anything crunchy, is Vata dosha. The property of anything crunchy is Vata dosha, which means air and space. And air and space affects the nervous system. So if you already have a trigger of your nervous system, you feel anxious, you feel nervous, you feel restless, you feel distracted, lack of clarity, then that dryness in the food will activate that more. Also, apart from that, stress will activate it as well because it's an external, something from our environment externally that is affecting us. If we allow it to affect us, right? But in this situation, we're talking about the foods. So we caught on to the cornflakes. I suggested to her, stop eating all these cold foods, the milk that was cold, the cornflakes, these ultra processed foods are not supporting her. So her feet were cold as well, which is also an indication of a Vata imbalance. So I did suggest to her to apply. We have an Ayurvedic oil called Mahanarayan oil, and this is a beautiful herbal infused oil that can help decrease pain, improve mobility, stiffness. So I suggested her to put in the areas of the joints, specifically this oil. So Ayurveda talks a lot about self-care. And we talk about how foods also affect us, how our lifestyle affects us, and what we can do to help support our well-being. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. I also suggested her some herbs to help support her joints while we take care of the foods, the diet, her lifestyle. We need to work as well on that emotional aspect. But remember, that wasn't her key concern. That was my concern on my behalf because I am looking at her and I am observing her and I understand from what she's telling me. Remember, some people are not ready to tap into that drawer, to touch into that space. So we have to go at the pace of the person. And most importantly in this case was working on her Vata dosha that was being suppressed. And that was creating a Vata imbalance, which is interesting. So it's suppressed. Her pulse was showing me that her digestion was low. Her bowel movements were inadequate. Her motivation was not there. And her sleep was off completely. And then after 1 month, I saw her. Her digestion improved as she was taking the herbs, but she was also following her diet. Diet means it's not stressful. Many people think Ayurvedic diet, oh my God, another diet. No, it's basically avoiding foods that don't support you. So for her, it was things that are crunchy, cold, right? That yogurt was just sitting there. It was creating that mucus and phlegm, and especially with her joints, that's a no-go. If you have pain in your joints, avoid yogurt as best as possible. That means we have to work on your digestion and stimulate the digestion so that you're able to digest that yogurt when the time is ready. So we're still working on her joints. She recognized that her pain is less and she's not feeling as frustrated and she doesn't wake up with pain. So this is after 1 month. And her bowel movements are still normal. She's still taking Miralax. Okay, one thing at a time. You know, Ayurveda is not a quick fix. It's very gentle and slowly. So let her take Miralax while she's adjusting her diet, her lifestyle, and adjusting to her new self, right? Her appetite is better. She's having no acid reflux. That's a first win. And she's waking up with energy. Why? Because she's not having that joint pain. Or her pain is less. She's still having it. It's less, but guess what? Her sleep's better. So that's great. She's still applying the Mahanarayan on her joints and her hips and her body, wherever she feels discomfort. And her deep groove is also better. She was doing, and she has been doing, marmotherapy healing sessions, which is helping her discover that side of her that it's okay to relax, that it's okay to take care of herself, that it's okay to love herself and be gentle with herself, which is a plus. Digestion was better that month. And then sorry, I'm counting the months. So after 7 months, we did another follow-up. But meanwhile, that time, mind you, during that time, she's been very consistent with her herbs, with her food. She's been very cautious, very aware. She's been opening up to observing herself more. And guess what happened in this month? No heartburn. She does not even remember telling me about the joint pains. I do ask, but she does not tell me. So we were there in that space, but I still ask her. So she doesn't mention it. That means it's better. She doesn't have pain. She's still waking up at a certain time at night. So now that's telling me there's an emotional disturbance. That waking up at night, the time from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. If you wake up at 2 a.m., there's something emotional, something on your mind that you are holding on to. And we have to observe it, go reflect, and start gently. We gently release it when we take care of ourselves. Her appetite is better. She's eating better, which is great. And she told me that she lost 25 pounds just eating better and healthier. So that this Ayurveda is so beautiful because it is creating this sense of awareness of what works for her and what doesn't work for her. She's discovering that on her own, and you discover it on your own. This is the beautiful part. Nothing is forced. It happens naturally. And once you start feeling better, you just want to continue in that space. And it's okay if you go back to the old ways. You discover that those old ways are not fitting for you and not serving you and feel uncomfortable. So then naturally you will deviate to what feels good. So we are diving deep. We're going to the root cause. We're not putting a band-aid. And we want to continue this space to live a long, healthy, and joyful life. So now she's waking up. It's still there, but she does mention to me, and I see it on her tongue, she doesn't have those grooves as much. They're not there. And I asked her, are you eating mindfully, not distracted without the newspaper? She says yes. And she also mentioned to me, not during the consultation, but she mentioned to me during a therapy session, she says, one thing I've noticed, Yamuna, is that I have stopped drinking wine and I feel so much better without it. I don't need it. We did not talk about wine at all during her consultation, but she mentioned that to me because she is being more aware and mindful. So this is so beautiful. This is so, so beautiful. We are working. There is still a little dryness on the tongue. There's a little shakiness on the tongue. That underlying anxiety, we are tackling it slowly, slowly at her pace when she's ready, because her sleep is still not there. She did tell me that her bowel movements are better after the consultation, and she is not taking Marilax. Yay, that's a win. So guess what? She's going naturally to the bathroom with the herbs, and then slowly we will wean her. We want her to go naturally to the bathroom, having that cleansing, detoxing feeling, but also feel how it feels to go naturally, not take something that is manufactured, maybe something natural like she's doing now. And then slowly we also want to go deeper into her fruits and veggies so that she is going even more naturally. So we are first detoxifying her body using Trifalagugo, which is an herb of 3 fruits with a resin to help detoxify gently her body. And this is also how helping her with her pain, body pain. She has not told me any more about her pain, which is great. But we are still working on that sleep. Sleep is so important. She recognizes her sleep is important. And we will go gently and even more gently into bringing out that deep-seated emotional space that she's been holding on to. And that could also be with her loss, recent loss. But we are not tapping into that space yet because it's very delicate. We want the person to feel good first, internally strong, and slowly let her be physically strong as well, feel better. And when she is ready, we will find out to start working on her grief. Because right now she's working on herself, on her healing, on feeling good, so that then later, slowly, she can process that grief. And it's a process and it's okay. So I did suggest an essential oil to help support her grief meanwhile. She says it's been helping her a lot. She uses it a lot. And at least she is doing that. We just talk about it briefly. We don't dive deep yet because we are still working on creating that safe space, that space of tranquility and harmony within her, discovering that peace within her, that joy within her, that it is safe to slowly open up after having a closed heart for so long, right? Being tough, and it's okay because in this society, they want us to continue running. We don't have time to process. We don't have time to process emotions, but in this safe space of Ayurveda, of healing, of Marma, she is allowing herself to discover what is really happening within, and that is beautiful. And we are moving at her pace. So I'm so happy. I'm so excited for her. She looks great. She lost her 25 pounds. We did not even think about it. I did not give her herbs to support her weight loss. It was just working on her digestion, talking about foods that nourish her, that support her, and eliminating the foods that are dry, crunchy, unctuous, like that yogurt that's heavy, that she could not process at this moment. Acid reflux is great. Bowel movements is great. Guess what? That means that vertical digestive tube, right? Think about it, is flowing. She's digesting properly. and she's releasing. So she's feeling lighter. Now we're just going to work on her sleep. Her anxiety is still there, and that is related to the emotional aspect. But the good thing is that she's allowing herself to be present. She is allowing herself to be open, and this is a blessing. So I pray for her, and this is beautiful. Ayurveda is a beautiful science, and it is real, and it is here to support your well-being apart from the medical advice that is given to you. But you can help yourself. Food, diet, lifestyle, amazing, and your self-care, which is very important. I send you love. Thank you for being here. Hari Om. Many blessings. Hari Om. And also, if you have any questions, please share. I would love to hear, and I would love to share. That's what we're here for. Thank you. Hari Om. Thank you for listening.